He's going into my cell. That's not a good look for me. That ruins my reputation because I'm allowing this guy to stay in my cell and not kicking him out. In this video, I'm going to share with y'all exactly how pedophiles are treated in jail. From personal experience, not being one, but having to spend a year in jail in 2024 and having to do a little bit of time in 2020. It's just so insane to me how these guys, the pedophiles, the kid diddlers, they would get the least amount of time, the least punishment, and the quickest bonds. I was in jail in 2020. This was during COVID. They would have to quarantine you for 2 weeks. That means you would be in a big pod, a big room, cell by yourself. And I got to see a lot of people coming and going. They would get the quickest bonds. They'd come there at night, be gone the next day or two. Everyone else having to sit there and wait. But the pedophiles, nah, they're in and out just like that because the courts, they don't care about them. It's not that serious, right? I remember talking to one guy. He was 20 years old and he went to a 13-year-old girl's house and got caught up for a sting operation. Gone, released in less than 2 days. No big deal. He just wanted to hang out and play some video games. Nothing sexual. He got caught up in a sting operation. Leaves the next day because he didn't do anything wrong by going over to a 13-year-old girl's house. He just wanted to hang out, nothing sexual, play some board games, play some Monopoly. When I spent a year in jail in 2024, they treated these guys so good. Chomo is short for child molesters. So these guys, they got special treatment. They got their own pod where no one got to bully, harass them. Nothing like that because they didn't do anything wrong. One of the guards, when he would have to watch the Chomo pod, he would put Cartoon Network and Disney on all the TVs just to spite these guys. Inmates hated these guys so much. I remember the last month I was at jail, I got a new cellie. I already had one guy and I had a third guy brought in. We're all out during rec and some idiot says, hey, I saw that guy at court. He's a Chomo. He's going into my cell. That's not a good look for me. That ruins my reputation because I'm allowing this guy to stay in my cell and not kicking him out. The whole energy of the pod shifts as soon as this guy said, oh, I saw him. I saw him at court today, but that was a lie. He was mistaken because this guy just came in today. So me and my cellie were like, okay, the pod's freaking out. We need to see your paperwork just to understand the situation. If you're not that, we can tell everyone. If you are, you're gonna have to get the hell out of here. This guy had never been to jail before. He showed us his paperwork. We just took that shit up off him and we looked at it. We're like, 2 counts of child endangerment and neglect. This doesn't say anything about no pedo shit, but you're still doing shit with kids. I'm pretty sure he was drunk and just acted a fool with a gun or a weapon. The charges still had to do with children. Who knows? And luckily, he did get a bond because I was not dealing with that shit. Me and my cellie were about to fucking kick him out. He was annoying as shit. Even if he didn't touch kids, he still looked like he did. And his paperwork was still related to that. So no one fucked with him because he just had that reputation off that one dude pointing his finger and saying he's this and that. From my experience, the courts and the legal systems, they don't really care. You can go in, catch a charge, be out the next day, go to court, get the charge dropped, nothing happened, you didn't do anything wrong. Jails and courts don't care, but the inmates do. If the inmates know that you're one of those guys, they treat you like shit and beat the fuck out of you, probably because you deserve it. So let me ask y'all, by societal standards, who's worse? A guy who touches kids or someone like me who sold a little weed and other drugs that weren't laced at all and wasn't killing anyone? You tell me. The way I see it, don't fucking box me in with someone who touches kids, man. We are not the same, bro. We are not the same. I'm always going to be better than someone who touches kids. End of the story. What I'm telling y'all is just from my experience. You could be like, oh, but look at the news. Look at this. No, we're talking about everyday situations, not high profile or high class or someone gets fucking murdered. No, we're talking about everyday situations, bro. The courts are so lenient towards these guys. It's insane. And that's why they keep on doing the same thing because there's no punishment. I'll never go back to selling drugs again because there's just too much punishment for me. But for a Chomo, it's just a slap on the wrist. They wanted to make an example out of me, but they don't want to make an example out of people who touch kids if they don't care about politicians and other guys who are doing it? Why would the legal system care about your ordinary, regular guys who touch kids? We're not punishing the politicians or famous figures who are doing the same thing, but even worse. Make it make sense, bro.